Welcome back to Adventures in Randomia, my D&D solo adventure series. This is episode 6, in which Freyia and Clarissa discover the shocking truth behind the disappearance of Myeldros at the climax of the battle with the Aboleth. I hope you enjoy, and please do leave me a comment. I do love to read your reactions, questions and suggestions. Last time, the wizard's ghost revealed that it was not Myeldros who killed him, but the evil rogue Lyra. We also discover that the artifact is not the powerful magical item that Myeldros was hoping for, but a protection mechanism guarding a dangerous creature beneath the castle. The ghost asks the adventurers to defeat the monster and rid the castle and the island of its affliction. They make their way down to a large pool in an underground cavern beneath the castle. They deactivate the mechanism and release the creature, and Myeldros realizes the mistake he has made. An epic boss battle ensues. Just as the creature is about to finish Freyia off, Myeldros dives into the water with the creature to save her. The creature disappears back into the depths, dragging Myeldros down with it. We rejoin our adventurers with panic rising as Freyia discovers she is still taking damage after the fight that Clarissa cannot heal. Help! Help! My skin is burning! That nasty beastie left something bad on my skin with its slimy wet tentacles. I need to wash it off. She jumps into the water of the pool. The water soothes Freyya's skin and stops her taking any more damage, but it doesn't cure her disease. Oh, that feels better. But my skin still looks really weird, kind of slimy and translucent. After a few minutes of bathing in the water, she comes back out onto the island and rests again next to Clarissa. You know, I still can't quite believe that Myeldros is gone, says Freyia. I keep expecting to hear his voice saying, "Ach, oh damn it." Yes, I know what you mean, says Clarissa. He wasn't a very likeable character, but in the end, he saved us. We owe him our lives. Suddenly, Freyia says, "Ow, my skin's hurting again." And she takes another 1 point of damage, which brings her down to only 1 HP of health. Oh, I'm getting back in the water. And she jumps back in. Again, the water soothes her skin and she stops taking damage. What am I going to do? I can't stay here for the rest of my life. Clarissa jumps up. Stay there. Maybe the wizard has left some information about the creature. He seemed to know quite a lot about it. Clarissa goes into the control room and searches around. So we ask the question, is there some information here about the Aboleth? And we roll a 15, so yes there is. Clarissa rolls a 12 for investigation. Clarissa searches around the control room and finds an old leather-bound book on the shelf next to the control mechanism. It seems this is an old journal belonging to the wizard. She flips through the book to see if there's any useful information about the Aboleth and stops at this entry. She reads, "It seems that the meteorite not only destroyed the west wing of the castle, but also brought with it an unwelcome visitor. My researchers have found this is an Aboleth, although judging by its size, it must be quite a young one. This is a monstrous eel-like creature from the elemental planes, which can enslave other creatures with its psychic ability. Its tentacles can also infect with a nasty disease, which afflicts the skin with acid damage unless covered in water. This can only be removed with a high-level cure spell." "Oh, I'm so stupid," says Clarissa. "Of course, it's a disease which can be cured, although my restoration spell isn't that high." She runs back over to the island with the book. "Freyia, it's okay. I think I can cure you with a spell to remove the disease." As Clarissa's spell is lower than the usual required to cure the disease from an adult Aboleth, we're going to ask the Oracle whether this can work. So we roll a 10, which means maybe, and suggests we need to do an ability check. So we do a roll for Clarissa's spellcasting, and we get a 24. So Clarissa can cure Freyia. She kneels down next to Freyia, who is still laying in the pool. She places her hands on Freyya's skin and casts Lesser Restoration, and this cures the disease. Freyya's skin immediately reverts to its usual appearance, and she climbs out of the pool. "Oh, thank goodness! I had visions of me having to carry around a bucket of water all the time and douse myself every few minutes." However, Freyia is still extremely low on health. In addition, she has incurred a level of exhaustion following her use of Frenzy in the fight with the Aboleth. This means she will be disadvantaged on any ability checks until she can have a long rest. "I'm sorry I can't heal you further, Freyia," says Clarissa. "I have no spells left now. I really need a good sleep to rest my mind." "Well, I definitely don't want to sleep here. What if that thing comes back?" Let's have a bit of a rest and then get out of here. They both have a short rest for about an hour. Freyia regains 10 hit points and Clarissa regains 7. As they rest, Clarissa continues to read the old wizard's journal regarding the aboleth. Ah, I see, she says, and reads out a later page. It seems I'm not able to destroy the aboleth, so my only recourse is to imprison it here beneath the castle to stop it taking over the whole island using its psychic abilities. Already the toxic effects of its presence on the local environment are apparent. I have rigged up a magical device that keeps it trapped here, and have put various ice locks in place to prevent others from gaining access. Ah, says Freyia, that must have been that ice archway that we came through. Clarissa continues flipping through the pages. Oh, what's this? What have you found? Says Freyia. The final page here. She reads again. My thoughts turn again to the aboleth trapped beneath the castle. There must be a way to be rid of it once and for all. In a later entry, I have discovered an ancient text that suggests that draconic blood could banish an aboleth. And in a final entry, would dragonborn blood work? Ah! Clarissa gasps in disbelief. What's wrong? Says Freyia. Don't you see? Dragonborn blood. The old wizard thought that dragonborn blood could banish the aboleth back to the elemental planes. So, Myeldros, the old wizard teacher, must have been using him, planning for him to be a sacrifice to get rid of the aboleth. Oh no, the wizard wouldn't do that, would he? Well, it would make sense of something that's been bugging me. Why would a world-renowned wizard teacher bequeath guardianship of a powerful artifact to someone like Myeldros? He was hardly a courageous character, or even a skilled wizard. So is that why the creature disappeared when Myeldros jumped into the water with it? Yes, and his hands were still covered in his own blood from when he was trying to unlock the artifact. So draconic blood banished the creature. Oh, poor Myeldros. He was destined to be a sacrifice right from the start then. Oh, now I feel bad for saying all those nasty things to him. They both sit in silence for a short while. Then Freyia jumps up. Come on, Clarissa. There's no point crying over spilt dragon blood. Let's get out of here. They head into the control room and make their way up the stairs at the back. They emerge into a small room with a doorway in front of them. So let's roll to discover what kind of doorway this is. And we get an 89, so this is another elemental doorway. Oh no, cries Freyia. It's another ice doorway. Now we're stuck. We can't get through without taking damage. What about the silver key that you used on the other doorway? Freyia feels in her pockets. No, it's gone. Oh, wait a minute. I used it on the control mechanism downstairs. I'll go fetch it. Freyia returns to the lower control room and retrieves the key from the lock. It's okay, Clarissa. I found it, says Freyia as she runs back up the stairs. So let's check whether the key will work for this gateway. We roll a 14, so yes it does. Freyia inserts the key into the lock and turns it, and the gateway deactivates. So let's roll for what kind of room lies beyond the doorway. We get a 15, so this is a triangular-shaped room, which we find out is about 40 foot in size and has 3 exits to it. We also check to see if the room is ruined or intact, and we get a 3, so the room is intact. Then we check our room contents table, and we get a 61. So this is an obstacle of some sort, which could be a crevasse or a sinkhole. Freyia and Clarissa step through the deactivated doorway into a large triangular-shaped room that must have once been a shrine room. There are the remains of ornate tiles on the walls and floor and a broken altar in one corner. There's a large hole in the centre of the floor where the stone has crumbled away. They peer over the edge and can see the blue-green glowing water of the pool in the cavern about 20 foot below. So let's roll to find out about the exits leading off of this room. We get a 32, which is a locked wooden door. Then we roll a 53 and a 54. These are both natural archways which lead into an adjacent room. Freyia and Clarissa carefully sidle around the edge of the hole. On the other side of the gaping hole in the floor, they can see a large wooden door standing open that leads back into the main courtyard. Ah, that must have been the way that Myeldros came in, says Clarissa. But how did he get through the ice doorway? Well, he could have just jumped down the hole into the pool. That's what I would have done. But how are we going to get out? This hole blocks our access back to the courtyard. Maybe there's another way out. What about trying through here? Freyia points at the archway to their left that leads into a dark space beyond. We roll 20 on the room table, so this leads into a large natural cave. They peer through the archway into a large ruined cavern scattered with rubble. This must be where the meteorite hit and destroyed the sides of the castle, says Clarissa. They step through and look around. Yes, says Freyia. Looks like it's empty though and doesn't lead anywhere. So now we're stuck again. No, look, there's another archway leading back into the room on the other side of the hole. So we then roll on the room contents table to find out what this cave contains. We roll a 58, so there's a medium encounter here. Before they can get back through the archway, 2 spectres appear at the far end of the cavern and fly at them, screeching and howling. Oh no, says Freyia, not another fight. So we roll for initiative. The spectres get 15, Freyia gets an 11, and Clarissa a 4. The first spectre flies at Freyia and swipes at her with its claws, but its attack fails. The second spectre flies right through Freyia and towards Clarissa. Ugh, cries Freyia. I've been ghosted! It swipes its claws at Clarissa, and despite the disadvantage from Clarissa's warding flare, the attack succeeds and does 15 necrotic damage. This life drain attack also has the chance to reduce maximum hit points, but Clarissa resists this effect. Freyia goes into a rage and roars at the spectre. I'll not let some ghosty get the better of me. She swings her great axe at the transparent form in front of her, and she hits and does 10 damage. However, the spectre only takes 5 damage. Ugh, these things are impossible, says Freyia. It's like slicing through thin air. Clarissa casts Turn Undead. She holds up her divine symbol, which hangs on a chain round her neck, and speaks the words of a prayer to repel the undead. A bright flash of light emanates from her. The spectre in front of her fails the wisdom save and flies as far away as it can from Clarissa to the far end of the cavern. The one in front of Freyia succeeds at the save roll and is unaffected. The spectre in front of Freyia slashes again at her with its claws, but misses. Freyia again swings her great axe through the air and strikes at the spectre. She hits it for 7 damage, but the spectre only takes 3. Ugh, this is gonna take a while, says Freyia. Clarissa casts Sacred Flame at the same spectre for 8 damage. The spectre fails the dexterity save. The sacred flames dance around it, doing the full amount of damage. Well, that spell works against them, says Clarissa. The spectre claws at Freyia again, and this time hits her for 8 damage. But Freyya's rage gives her resistance, and she only takes 4 damage. However, she is affected by the life drain and takes a reduction to her maximum health points. Freyia grits her teeth and does a large swing with her great axe. This time it hits for 12 damage, and even with its damage resistance, this time the ghost goes down. With a screeching cry, it disappears. Says Freyia. 1 down, 1 to go. She starts to move towards the other spectre, repelled at the far end of the cavern. Clarissa casts Sacred Flame on this other spectre. It succeeds on the dex save and takes no damage. However, the attack is enough to break it out of the repel. It flies back towards them and slashes at Freyia with its claw. With her damage resistance, Freyia only takes 2 points of damage. However, her health is falling very low again. Also, her maximum hit points are further reduced by the life drain effect. Freyia swings at this spectre and hits, but the ghost only takes 3 damage. Clarissa casts her Sacred Flame, and this time the ghost fails the dexterity save, so it takes a further 5 damage. Thank goodness I've got you, Clarissa. My great axe is useless against this thing. Spectre strikes again at Freyia with its claws, but this time fails. Phew, says Freyia. I can't take many more of those claw attacks. Freyia hits with her great axe again and does 11 damage. The ghost takes 5. Clarissa casts her Sacred Flame again, but this time for only 2 damage. The ghost fails the dex save. The flames sear into its incorporeal form. The spectre succeeds in its next claw attack, and Freyia takes 4 damage. Now, with only 1 point left of health, Freyia takes a mighty swing at the spectre. Her axe slices into the ghostly form in front of her and does 12 damage. The ghost takes 6, but still survives. Clarissa casts Sacred Flame again for 3 damage, but the spectre succeeds on the saving throw and avoids any damage. The ghost slashes out at Freyia for 11 damage. Even with her damage reduction, she is struck down. She slumps to the floor. Oh no, Freyia, cries Clarissa. She clasps her divine symbol once again and casts Sacred Flame for 5 damage. This time the ghost fails the dexterity save and is finally defeated. With a shriek, it vanishes and the cavern falls silent. Freyia, no, cries Clarissa, and she rushes to her friend's side. She lays her hands upon Freyia and casts Spare the Dying. Freyia is stabilised, but remains unconscious, lying on the floor. Oh, Freyia, what can I do? I have no healing spells left. Clarissa kneels next to Freyia, clutching her divine focus and desperately praying to her divinity. Please let her be okay. Please let her survive. And this is where we will leave our two adventurers, with Clarissa holding a vigil over the unconscious Freyia, hoping and praying that she will be saved. Look out for the next episode to find out if Clarissa's prayers are answered.